Good evening.
Good evening.
We are here, and once again, it is our great pleasure to be in your reality. So, dear friends, it is summer, and the storms are brewing. You can hear it outside, yes?
Oh, yes.
It's a stormy night in the south here, gusty cloud formations, squalls, this kind of thing, and yet we're almost at standing room only, which pleases us very much to know that more and more people are waking up. And for those of you who are continuing to consider ideas and expand your consciousness, you have a duty to be clear, and once you become informed about certain bits of whatevers, it's your responsibility to change your life and to eliminate those things that absolutely drain your energy field. So tonight is July number 7, 2016, and once again we are gathered at the famous Dancing Moon in Raleigh, North Carolina for Moon Musings number 125. As usual, we strive for excellence, insight, upliftment, explanations, and of course we do our best to stimulate your thought processes, your energy field, your chakras, your kundalinis, to awaken you, so that you feel more alive. And in feeling more alive, you get in touch with your natural self. Now, our vehicle was giving you a brief summation about some of the events of the current day and how they are playing out. We will give our point of view, and then we will engage in questions with you. Now, we predicted a while back it's going to be a very tense summer. And we have said in reminder that this is a year of confusion. Some years are years of excitement, some years are years of struggle. This is a year of confusion because of the astrological configurations. Scientific community poo-poos astrology. They are only into astronomy. There it is. Astrology says, yes, there it is, but this is its impact on us. And the roots of astrology go back to the Anunnaki. Anunnaki translating as those who from heaven to earth came. They were considered to be those of the Anunnaki visitors who came to earth. And to be very clear, understand that we give you stories, we offer you perspectives, but much of our work is designated to trigger, activate, open what is already in your DNA, what is stored there, so that you have what is called self-realization. The more you look for answers here, there, and everywhere, it's fine, but you may be wasting your time. You have power that others do not want you to recognize. This is why we are here, to remind you of that power, to entertain you, to give you a few laughs, and certainly to give you our perspective on what's going on your world. So, it's going to be a very contentious summer. And people are frustrated worldwide. It's not just the USA. There is a worldwide backlash happening now against global governments. Why? Because in the last 20, 40, 50 years, the global governments have usurped your abilities to live safely, to live without surveillance. And you must ask yourself, why so much surveillance? Why so much technology that most people can't even figure out, yet they carry it with them? It is said that these devices that people carry around now are far more potent than the largest Cray computers from the 50s and 60s. Another consideration for all of you to remember is that history has been said to repeat itself. Certainly in your own lives, you know you've stumbled across the same issues and situations again and again. You find yourself up to deep water and you say, I've been here before. How many times do you want to get in deep water until you figure out that you haven't had swimming lessons and don't know how to swim? You repeat things over and over again individually and as a species collectively. Again, you live in many ages, as many types of beings, but you live to collect experience on the soul level. You live again and again to learn your lessons. Now, a really smart, aware person makes intentions and says, it is my intention that I learn my lessons quickly, easily, and effortlessly. Quickly, easily, and effortlessly. You can take those words and apply them to your driving. I'm going to drive from here to California, and it's going to be quickly, effortlessly, easy, fun, etc. All of this is using the power of your words, your mind, your ideas to condition the energy that is free all around you. It's just waiting for you to take ownership of yourself, of the energy, and to restore some kind of dignity to the human race. Now, you're recreating Atlantis and the issues of Atlantis: genetic engineering, cloning, hybridization, changing people's genders, identities, making animal-human hybrids for sexual means, for zoos, for entertainment, you name it. It's been around the planet. And sometimes some of the things that are cited, the phenomena, the weird stuff that people see, these are remnants of some Atlantean experiments. But please be aware, these experimentations have never stopped. They've ameliorated a bit, which they are back in full force for now at least the past 100 years. And where does this occur? In celestial palaces, on the moon, on Mars, and of course beneath your feet. More goes on beneath your feet than you have any idea of. Now, all of this has been set up. It's a cycle. Your weather is a cycle, your life is a cycle, history is a cycle. And right now you are rushing back to the past. In the USA, you are going to re-energize all of the issues from the 1760s and the 1770s and the 1780s. On another level, the efforts to depopulate you are growing quite blatant, whether it is toxins, vaccinations, medicines, chemtrails, Fukushima, GMOs, and then of course there's entertainment. Please do laugh at our jokes. We truly appreciate the laughter. Even if they are bad, laugh, then we give you good scores so that your guides are pleased that you are getting things. But it is true that you are being entertained and confused to death, and you are being bombarded with violence. Bombarded with it. So, in all fairness, people are waking up. But it was much easier to wake up 10, 15 years ago than it is today. Because today you have to sort through what's true, what's not true. They're telling you. Before you figure out what's true and what's not true, what do you want? What do you want? When you wake up every day, what do you want that day? What do you want to get out of this life? Every person is guided. If you throw your morals out the window, if you engage in things that you have shame over, guilt, etc., ameliorate it, clean up your act, get honest, live well, and you will attract the guidance that will help you fulfill what your soul came here to do. And most of the time, what you come to do is to advance your knowledge, pass the tests of learning lessons and not making ridiculous mistakes. And in today's world, you have to get the whole package. You have to manage money. If you can't manage your money, you're not very effective with energy. Money is energy. You have to manage your health, because the health situation just wants to make you sicker and sicker, and they kill off doctors who cure cancer, or they denigrate people who want to help humankind. So you have money, health, you have to manage your mind, entertain yourself, learn as many skills as you can, because this is a lifetime like no other. And many of you will not want to incarnate into a future earth for a while, because turmoil is coming, great turmoil, all over the globe. Make the most of every moment of every day. Do your best to expand your consciousness. Leave your cell phones at home. Stop watching television. Check the internet rarely. Figure out what it is to be bored. And then get in touch with what wants to awaken inside. We'll summarize with this. The great push to depopulate, to make you sick, to make you dumb, and to get you stuck on devices that the Anunnakis had. They called them me's, and they fought over them. Now there's me's in everyone's hand. This is to dumb you down so that you do not make the advancements that are possible in this particular lifetime. Remember, the internet is a double-edged sword. Yes, you can find things out, but it can also destroy your noodles. And what you want to have is value what's up here in the brain. Because as things become more confusing, psychic abilities awaken. And the power of your words, your mind, your thoughts gets summarized in an ancient expression. And that is from Aramaic. And it is the expression abracadabra. Anyone hear of that? Of course. It means I create as I speak. If you forget everything else, remember that from this evening. You have that power. Use it. Now, let's have a good time. We open it up to questions, and we ask you simply to state your first name loud and clear. Our work is recorded. It's not supposed to be on the internet. All of that is done without permission and pirated. But many people will purchase these CDs, as some of you have, and you end up being teachers for others. So it's a big underground secret that we have here with we P's and you Hughes. All right, let's get it rolling. And who would like to ask the first question?
This is Jean.
Jean, yes, welcome.
Yes. Maybe more of an observation. I just thought it was very interesting that there seems to be a sex scandal coming out about Roger Ailes.
Oh, yes, that was sneaking out the other day. People were speculating, how could this old guy get such hot babes? That's what they were sort of saying on the radio. We don't know who he is, but Mars went direct. You understand this? Mars went direct last week. And it was retrograde since April. It went direct in Scorpio last Wednesday. And all holy hell has broken loose since then. And when Mars goes direct in Scorpio, it becomes Scandal City. So you are going to be immersed in scandal for the entirety of July. Watch out, Hillary Clinton. She's got half her chart is in Scorpio there. And then by August, when Mars goes into Sagittarius, lots of big pictures are coming out. And then it looks as if you enter a very volatile window to cover a lot of this stuff up. So, is this unusual that a woman would, working for a boss or a company in media, accuse him of inappropriate sexual activity?
No, I'm sure. That was going to be my question.
Let's just say that it's become quite de rigueur for young men and young women to do whatever it takes to make it. This is Hollywood. And remember, Hollywood is about, it's all Hollywood. The news, it's all Hollywood. It's glamour, it's tricking you. So what actually is your question?
Well, my observation is interesting. Roger Ailes is, I believe, runs Fox News.
Yes, he's the head of Fox News.
Yes, and he was, Trump's good friend. And people feel like he...
this is an attack on the trumpet.
Yeah, it's like his connection to Trump, because didn't Trump recently say that he was going to start, like he threatened to start outing Hillary and the Clintons, basically, Hillary and Bill.
And then what happened? Then someone put a zipper over the trumpet.
That's not all that happened.
Well, oodles of other things have happened, but word has gone out. And of course, when word goes out, it's because the people have the blackmail on others. And we are not talking about affairs. We are not talking about, oh, you nasty boy, or you nasty girl, you cheated on this. We are talking kink to the extreme, perversions. Very, very dark stuff. And we will say that the media is very complicit in the MK Ultra mind control projects. And young people have been immersed and put into these projects for decades and decades and decades. And they are traumatized, they are beautified, they are programmed, they may have 100 personalities. They are like walking robots, but they are mind control slaves. And they are compartmentalized, so they do not remember one altar from another. This also has permeated politics, Hollywood, the media, to such an extent that it's beyond corruption. It's beyond.
I think Trump is getting a really swift lesson, because like a couple weeks later, after he threatened to start outing all these scandals against concerning the Clintons, it's suddenly in the news that he's being accused of raping a young woman, like, I don't know, like 20 years ago or something like that. And I believe there may actually be a lawsuit actively being brought against him. Like 2 weeks later, this is what he said he was going to out Bill over. Again, like you're saying, not just affairs, but actual, really deviant sexual behavior. Now these charges...
Is there anyone up there that is not implicated? It doesn't look like it, folks. This is the problem. It's not just U.S., it's all over the world. And to understand it, do you remember the movie Pinocchio? Mm-hmm. That's the growing nose there. When he lied, his nose would grow, etc. But what was the main message of Pinocchio? It was Jiminy Cricket, yes? And Jiminy what was Jiminy to represent? His conscience, yes, his conscience. Meaning, now you might not want to do this because you know it's not right. As simple as that movie is, it is a total representation of each person's soul's evolution. To know right from wrong, etc., what is good and what is not good, and to proceed towards not goodness or evil, and then get so immersed that the entities come in. And then the entities start running the people, and it is the entities who want the debased sex. And remember, this whole MK Ultra mind control came out of Nazi Germany. It was brought into this country by the Nazi doctors that were supported by global factions from wanting to restore the global power of the Anunnaki. That's how it comes down. But remember, these Anunnaki are not one team working to take over Earth. They are fragmented. And within their family, they have civil war. That's the best way to say it. They've been involved in civil war within their family for hundreds of thousands of years. So they come to Earth and they use you as their puppets, and they use your monies. London is the Anunnaki banking center. The Vatican would be the Anunnaki religious portal. And of course the US military would be the Anunnaki military control center. That is why you see all the stars. You understand? The military is always about stars, yes? Yeah. But you ask them if they know what their sun sign is, they don't. Ask them to point to something in the heaven, they can't, but they're all part of it. You are looking at the real corruption, degradation of your world society. And it's not a pleasant ride of what's ahead. But let us move on here. That was a good observation, Jean. But it's, for any thinking person, it's very difficult to sort out what's going on. And there's so much lies. Look at what happened, all the secrecy over 4th of July weekend. Watch what happens on Friday afternoon. Always big stuff. All right, who else has question? David, we know you've got something going on there. You want to ask now, David, or wait?
I think Kristen was just...
sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Who has a question?
I do. My name is Kristen.
Kristen, welcome.
Thank you. In recent years, there have been a lot of miscarriages and abortions, and I was wondering why these souls choose to come in for such a short amount of time, what the lesson might be, and what role the mother has.
Well, it's a loaded question, and most people don't want the answer that we give, but mothers today are completely and totally disconnected to the toxins and what a toxic world they are attempting to bring children in. And we've had many discussions here. Our vehicle has seen it. There's the baby, there's the bump, and there's the computer sitting right there. Or there's the men. Their jewels. They cover their family jewels with the laptop, the cooker. Remember, all of this stuff runs on microwaves. Thank you for saying ouch. All of this stuff runs on microwaves. So you microwave the bump, you microwave men, their phallus. Women are constantly thinking they have to let everyone know what they're doing. So you're killing yourselves with electronics. And what's the lesson for the child? The child comes in and departs, even in the best of times. Let's say that there's no electronics and we have children who either miscarried, etc. First of all, for a woman to carry a baby, it activates all the energy centers in the body, and it is the most generous thing a woman can do, is to be the carrier of life. Now, we know people have different sexual orientations and preferences. Some people don't want children, don't want to get married, can't have them, or whatever. But it seems to us everyone came here through a womb. And when you pollute the womb, and you don't have a good penis, and you don't have a good vagina, there goes the library. That's our expression, because you are a genetic library that is treasured in the cosmos. So young women, young people, we do consider that you do not reach adulthood until you get to be 28, 29. Your Saturn return, then you are adult, and in our opinion, to protect yourself, there would be no electronic exposure until your 20s, and even then very minimally. In our opinion, it is criminal, truly criminal, for mothers to carry their babies and to be on cell phones, or to have the children have cell phones. You are killing your children. And your aborted fetuses and your miscarriages are a loud symbolic expression of you've missed it. You're not doing something right. That, it takes hundreds of thousands of dollars for women to get pregnant today. It used to be for free. Then now, if you haven't seen that movie Vaxxed, we recommend it. Andrew Wakefield and others are predicting by 2030, not so far away, you will have 1 in 2 that is autistic. When you have autistic children, you're going to have them for life. They're not good decision makers. And then what's the Alzheimer rate? So, as we've been saying for a while, you can't get in and you can't get out with clarity of mind. You are being poisoned. How long is it going to take? Now, we'll say this too. We've been giving this cell phone information. Our regulars are bored hearing it. Thank you for laughing. But the bottom line is, the technology uses the same neural networks as cocaine and heroin addiction. So people are really addicted. They can't break the addiction. That's part of the problem. Kristen, what do you think?
I think I knew a lot of that information because I've listened to you before. I was interested on a soul level. I've heard of contracts between mother and child. The child wants to come in and experience the world at this time. Mother needs to learn some kind of a lesson. That was more of...
It's always the lesson, but in today's world, the lesson is they can't come in healthy. Because mothers want to be mothers, and then they want to be CEOs. You have been conditioned, you have been psyops, that's psychological operations, to twist everything around, because up the scale at the top of the pyramid, there is great fear that as humans, you will activate yourself to pretty good level. Remember, you have Anunnaki DNA. They want that locked down. They don't want you getting into it. But if you activate it, you won't need them anymore. And you won't be their colony. And that is, mutiny is the last thing they want, and yet this is where you are headed. All right, who else has a question?
This is David.
David, welcome.
I got a question. I think I brought it up the last time, but it seems to be popping up in the newspapers everywhere about all these people that are continuing to disappear, children, infants, older folks, and it seems to be going on all over the world. And I was having a conversation with your vehicle. I give one that just happened in Italy, and it looked like more of a robbery. But then I'm thinking, one of the things I mentioned to your vehicle is I went online and was trying to, looking for, on Amazon to find some of these books. And what I've come to realize, I was able to get a couple of them, which I passed around. But now there seems to be a lockdown on these books on Amazon, where they're only available in Kindle, which I don't have a Kindle. But the prices on some of these books are well into the hundreds of dollars, and then some of them are not even available, period. And it just seems, and then the ones that I have ordered are junk. So
first of all, there have been in this last year what our vehicle calls fishing expeditions. Different people have gone on radio, or they put something in paper, or you get a few books out there. They are looking to see how many people have had bizarre encounters. There's no database for this, and as you well know, David, the first started being put together as disappearances in the national forest, the national parks. And what's interesting is over July 4th, it was your president there, Commander, he took his family to Yosemite. And according to various researchers, Yosemite is where most of the disappearances in the national park out of the national park system. That is where the majority of disappearances have occurred. And speculation runs rampant. The important thing to understand is that some of these weird happenings and disappearances date back centuries. But what it looks like is that in the last 20 years, or even since the early 90s, yes, that would be 20 years, there's been a massive program of snatching various people. And when we say snatching, they're there 1 minute and they'll say, okay, I'll meet you ahead 20 yards. And they disappear. No sound, no scent, No screamings, no nothing. You turn around and they are gone. Do not, at this point in your adventurous selves, friends, it is not advisable to go into the woodland areas by yourself. It is not just that there are strange creatures afoot. There are a number of situations going on. It's always been on your planet that there would be electromagnetic weak spots. And this would be a type of situation where the magnetic field fluctuated and portals would open. Today, most people have heard of the famous portal called CERN, built around the Large Hadron Collider that is in Switzerland, and it has caused all manner of stir and strange things, and reports from Europe are very subjugated, but stuff comes out nonetheless that strange things are happening. There was a portal that people opened at Montauk on the eastern end of Long Island. And of course, there are many portals in the natural world. And it seems that many of these are becoming more activated, and what used to be more definite boundaries between dimensions have now loosened. And beings move from one dimension to another, strange creatures come through, and then more important, you have extraterrestrial, usually coupled with military cooperation that are snatching people. And as we've covered, that it appears that if they want your DNA, it's easier to get than it is taking you out of the woods. If they wanted to eat you, you don't come back. And there are cannibalistic, there are people who are taken for food. There are people who are taken off your planet into the ground, and some up into different places in the cosmos to seed worlds, work, etc. But when the people are taken and then they are put back a few weeks later, and they are found in water often, where there's water washes away the evidence, we are suggesting that there is a massive program now that is utilizing the human database, especially very smart humans. And a lot of the disappearing people are young men between 18 and 34, 35, who are quite good students, quite on the ball mentally. They are taking these people and they are wiping their brains, and they are feeding this human data into the future managers of your planet, which will basically be artificial intelligence. Just so that you get the creep factor. As you watch the tube, we know some of you do, especially on the political stuff, and you notice, well, so-and-so looks a bit different today. You notice that? Ooh, she looks bad today. Ooh, they must have fixed her up. They must have sucked the fat out of her. Oh, her face has got wrinkles today. The next day, well, there's so many wrinkles. Just take it across the board anywhere, and you start to see that lots of these people have a closet full. They're exaggerating, but you get the picture of clothes or RT Intels. The level at which artificial intelligence has taken off since the 80s, since the 70s, is quite astounding. And a man, just to digress, then we'll go on to more questions, a man that was considered to be highly reputable and a voice of reason, jurisprudence on all manner of government committees, a real no-nonsense man. He was called Dr. Peter Beta. He proclaimed, yes, you can remember that name. You see, you like to laugh at these little innuendos, of course. So you think of it, we didn't say it now. So this Dr. Peter Beta, again, good reputation, he reported a few things. He said, back in the early 80s, that the space shuttles were taking up payloads of gold into space. People at the time thought, are they nuts? What are they doing with payloads of gold into space? Well, who likes gold? Who wants gold? And who has searched the cosmos far and wide for gold? Anunnakis, yes. And what is now, it is projected gold is going to go to 10,000 an ounce. Could it? It could go to 15 people. And who has been hoarding gold here, there, and everywhere? China, India, Russia. Who took you off the gold standard? Nixon, the big betrayer. Who prosecuted Nixon? Hillary. Connections, history, all the way around. It looks as if there's all manner of problems. The other thing that Dr. Peter Beta said in one of his, called them audio newsletters. Perhaps you can Google it. If you're going to be online, you might as well look for something totally worthwhile. He said, I am so sorry to report that President Jimmy Carter and Rosalind and whatever the others were, their names, Amy, they have all been replaced over Easter weekend by organic robotoids. Now, people didn't know how to take that from this very reputable man. Go back and look it up, you'll find it. This is, when were the Carters around? In the 70s?
76, 80.
All right. Hello, let's do the math. How long has it been since then? And imagine that if they say what they're working on in the future, it's already done. So it's going to be very confusing to figure out who's who and what's what. And these snatchings are just a weird part of whatever, and it's bigger than anyone's realizing. It happens quite frequently. It's just kept local. And of course, the coroners and police people must keep quiet about these things. Many of them belong to Masonic organizations or some kind of good old boy, good old girl club where you have allegiance to keep quiet. That's how things are controlled. Who has a question?
My name is Genevieve.
Who is it? Genevieve?
Yes.
All right, welcome, and loud and clear, please.
I was wondering, in order to prepare for the imminent economic collapse, global
Yes.
economic collapse, are there certain geographical locations?
None today. You know, Genevieve, in the 80s and 90s, people would say, please tell us, please, where the safe places are. And we gave an answer in those years. We said, you know, on the East Coast, it looks as if it would be the Appalachian chain. Many, many people will go to this chain and will park themselves there. And many, many people have positioned themselves, and then they said, oh, pooey, I thought it was going to happen. It didn't happen, and here I am in a position, and it's all still up and running. Now, you said imminent collapse. It certainly looks, Genevieve, like it is an imminent collapse because the issue at hand is not subprime mortgages, where the subprime mortgages, remember in the 90s, Mr. Clinton said, just write these mortgages for these people, it's all they're doing, so if they have money, that's it. We're practicing, Bill, but we. So basically, he's telling people, just let everyone have a mortgage, whether they have the money or not, black or white, whatever, to make any difference, give them the mortgage. Then he's out and he says, I balance the budget, look at me, I'm a black president, I'm the best guy ever. When Slip Willie, he raped more women than probably all your presidents together. A very bad man, very brutal man, very angry man. And so that was, then it came around in 2007 and 2008, and of course George Bush, and they're all crooked, but Bush got stuck with it. Now today it's global. It's global. And everyone's broke, except for those who have gold, silver, and gemstones. And of course, when the Anunnaki came here 445,000 years ago, they were looking for gold. And they sent a whole phalanx of Anunnaki workers to set up the mining situation for silver, for gold, for tin, for diamonds. Everything that is of value on your earth was then shipped to Mars, where the Igigi were, Some was taken to the moon, but mostly to Mars. And then from Mars onward to Wormwood, or Planet X, or the 12th planet, or it's got lots of names now. It's being called everything. So, how does one prepare? Your intentions, of course, are your immediate resource. And the very best thing that all of you can say is that you intend that you are always in the right place at the right time. We've been teaching this from the beginning. That you are safe, that you are guided. But if you are guided, you have to listen to the guidance. And you cannot argue when you are feeling a strong intuition. And this is where most people are stuck. If you get stuck, ask for a sign. The field of existence is highly interactive. We know it's not a good sign if you go around talking to the air, but now everyone's got a cell phone, so that sort of gives you more leisure to talk to the field of existence. And people will think you have a device or something when you're talking. Communicate. Everything is alive. Financially, the advice is have nothing between you and your assets, meaning if it's in the bank, it could be gone. If it's in stock markets, it could be gone. If it's on paper and digital, it could be gone. What else, Genevieve?
Well, just basically, what can we do to prepare for this? I mean, if there's no geographical place that is safer from, especially from the electromagnetic poison that we're being bombarded with.
Probably the safest place on the planet is the Hudson Bay up in Canada, where it's freezing cold. And you would only enjoy it at the summer solstice. You know, it used to be that there were safe havens. And today, there really are not places that you can go escape because you have the cell towers and you have so much. Now, do not think that people are going to take this lying down. There will be the reactive element. There will be the element that is armed. There will be the element of the poor that is not going to be good to be around. It's why your job, as you become more aware, as you have to help stabilize the world situation. And really, you have to pray or put your intentions out there and ask and intend very clearly that you want solutions. Now, we have a lot of new people here tonight, and we want to say, very important to understand, that when you intend something and you are doing an abracadabra, you do not have to know how it's going to happen. You are taught in school, if you want a job, then you have to know how to get a job. And you do. You have to dress, you have to have skills, you have to know where to apply. That is how the 3D world works. The world of energy and the world of metaphysics, it does not allow you to be lazy. You have to be talented, you have to put something out there, but you don't have to know how what you want is going to happen. This is the power of stating. It goes out into the field. Each of you are your own radio station. And the globe and the multiverse and everything that you are part of is based on cooperation. It's the Anunnaki who want to trick you into evil and debasement and darkness and confusion. Cooperation generally reigns if you're smart enough to recognize it. This is why we said go back to nature, look at nature. Now, certainly on a practical level, a bit of investment in precious metals would not hurt anyone. And stocking up a little bit and feeling a little prepared can give you a sense of confidence. If it all goes really kapooey, then you're going to all be in the same boat. Remember that there are many good people, and there are many people who are insiders from agencies, from military, from law enforcement. They see what's going on. And just like Comey, they want to live. And they know that they are not going to go up against the whole system. But as the cracks occur, and you are in the dismantling that began in 2010 and completed itself energetically last year, now you are seeing the crumbling. Good people will arise, people with solutions. And crisis, or a big stir-up, tends to make people more psychic, and it tends to bring solutions to the forefront. But in terms of escaping this, there's only being in a better position for it. And there's lots of people that say, oh, if I could only go away and come back when all this is over. We've heard them. We even know them. So there you have it. Anything else, Genevieve?
Well, just basically how to be in a better position for it. I guess you've already answered that. How would you be in a better position to weather this storm?
Attitude-wise, and some preparation.
Okay.
Attitude, the right attitude conditions the space. Fear. Your power ends when your fear begins. And if there's one thing the media and the Anunnaki and the dimensionals use, they want to get you in fear so you get paralyzed, then you can't think your way through it. You have to use your visualization and your imagination and say everything's going to work out better than I can imagine. Drop a grounding cord, picture you are grounded into the earth, put up your aura. We've been teaching this for a while. Picture a nice golden aura around you for protection. You have to utilize your mind to activate your energy field. Yes, it's about data. Everyone wants to teach you data, and we participate in that too. But we also take you back to why you are here, to discover your power and to raise the value of being human for all of you. Who has a question?
My name is Robert.
Robert, welcome.
I'm also known as Snowman, but 6 months ago my whole life pretty much changed upside down. So my question is more like a confirmation. I've been...
But you are here to speak about it, so you made it through it, yes?
Yes.
And was it a good upside down?
Oh yeah, it was a good upside down.
But it was unexpected?
It was unexpected.
And what age are you, 27, 28?
35.
35, all right, that's another number. You see, at 28, 29, you have your first Saturn return. And it's usually a fanny walloper. There's some bacon that fries. Okay? In other words, and it's usually right at the back of you, around 28, 29. It's a grow-up. Then the next one's 35. Then the next one's 42, and at 49 it keeps going. All right, what is your question, Robert?
So I'm trying to...
I'm wanting. We don't... that is a swear word here.
Okay.
You can say shit even if you want to, and damn, but not trying.
Okay.
Trying implies failure.
Okay. I want to see a better future, and what I've been seeing online is, or what I've been hearing is that the Pleiadians are here to help with the Galactic Federation in order to stop the Sacred Space Program or disclose it to...
we don't buy any of that.
No?
No, because we don't... The whole Galactic Federation is a bunch of hooey. Don't spend time online. That's the best solution, because you're not going to be able to sort it out.
Okay.
You need to read some books, talk to people, and this Galactic Federation and who's here to save who and who's what and this and that. Understand that you are involved in a space war. People have jumped time, and it's only in the highest ranks of military that anyone really understands what's going on, and there's more disinformation than there is information on the internet. We will say this: no one is going to save you. No one. And the Anunnaki are breeders, and they have learned how to create life. And they have learned how to create clones and semi-organic life and things of this nature. And some of, or many of the visiting ETs that you think are from, or your military, U.S. military, world military, thinks are from different star systems, are actually all Anunnaki workers. Just as if you travel to Japan, you cross Shintoism, you go to India, you'll see Hinduism, you go up into Tibet, you see Buddhism, you have then Taoism, Confucius, all of these isms, Judaism, Islamism, Christianity-isms, they're all Anunnaki constructs to get you to say, it's my religion, it's my religion. They operate through confusing you. And so they do this with ETs. And there are some in the military who have figured this out. But then, let's say, in the world of secrets and things of this nature, there's very little agreement. Because people are not that smart. They are observing. They don't know how to participate in it. And they, in the military, are big bang bang, shoot 'em, kill 'em. So, Robert, we empathize with you. 20 years ago, it would have been much easier to figure things out. Much, much easier. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. How's that for an answer? Does that help you?
Yes.
Then when you look at something, before you go online, if you have to go online, make an agreement with your guides. This works for everyone. Guides, higher self, brain that I have that I don't even know, the smartness in my cells. Lead me only to what I really need to know that will enhance my life and that's truthful. And allow my bullshit detector to give a whoa, 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 loud and clear whenever I am encountering something that is disinformation. You have to make this agreement with yourself. Each of you has to make an agreement with your cells, your brain, your body, your toenails. The whole thing participates. And when you say, I want my body to perform this way for me, guess what? The cells line up. They say, wow, the commander is finally awoken. We're going to have a good time with this body now.
Right.
You get our point?
Yeah.
We're exaggerating a bit, but the info on the internet is designed by most of the agencies. Anything to do with space, you're going to have all of the agencies all over the world on it. And mostly they're going to trick you into your naivete. It's like this stupidity that's out there that the world is flat.
Right.
And then they're testing. These are psyops to see. And they follow everything you do online to see what you do. And they want to know who's smart and who's not. Now, the smart ones don't go online. They're figuring that out as well. You have to find another way to get information and use it very minimally. Anything else, Robert?
Nope, that's it.
What sign are you?
Gemini.
A Gemini, all right. So you are very partial to information. Gemini likes to know a lot. Work with what we suggested. Who else has a question?
I do.
Who is it?
My name is Karina.
Corina?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, thank you.
I'm curious about the planet Jupiter and how it would have influence on someone's life if they were told that they have a strong Jupiter influence, like that's their biggest influence, or maybe moving into a big Jupiter.
You're
period.
talking astrologically.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that on the 4th of July, where you had a new moon here that re-stimulated the revolution from 1776, the space probe Juno entered the realm of Jupiter, yes? And Jupiter was known as king of the gods. It was Zeus, and Zeus's wife was Juno. And Zeus ate his children and did all manner of not so nice things. But nonetheless, astrologically, if you have Jupiter as the influence in your chart, Jupiter is about expansion. For Jupiter, it's a Sagittarius, so it's always happy-go-lucky. They want to see the big picture. On the dark side, Jupiter can be too dogmatic and too self-righteous. Too many rules, lay down the law, etc. On the upside, very expansive, big thinker. Right now, the planet Jupiter is in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is about health. It's about grooming. It's about the higher mind. It's about making order. So for the last year, if you have been improving your health, learning about health, participating in activities that enhance your health, you are using Jupiter to the best level. If you've cleaned up your diet, all this is great. But as Jupiter gets to the end of its sojourn in Virgo and will not be back here for 12 years, it's going to cause trouble this summer, not only with the Zika virus. So if you have not taken care of your health, these next 2 months could create a major health crisis. And this is another thing that will be fakely driven. And then there will be, as some places want to do, forced vaccination. Forced vaccinations are right on line with the same kind of mind control that's coming out of California. They have legislature, potential legislature that they want to pass, that they will make it a felony, a criminal offense, if an individual or an organization questions the orthodoxy of climate change. This is, you've had nothing ever like this in this country, where you are being told everything to think and do. So Jupiter is next year, September, it's going to go in Libra. And Libra sounds like it could be friendly and all of that, but Libra is justice, it's law, and it's also the house of open enemies. So starting in September, these will be the main issues. Do you know what sign your Jupiter is in? No.
I think Sagittarius, but I'm not sure. I'm just guessing.
All right. That would be the natural placement of it. That is a good placement, if that is what it is. It means you have a mind that is open to learning and open to travel and open to the bigger picture. Who else has a question?
I have a question, please.
Yes, you are.
My name is Shelley.
Shelley, welcome.
My name is Cook. I was trying to form this in a question.
I'm wanting to form this.
I disagree with a lot of your views. I respect you. I feel very close to the Anunnaki family. So I won't say I represent anybody, but I guess I represent myself, whoever the hell I am. So I can say that it's an honor to be here. So I just want to say that I've traveled a good ways to be here, and I feel grateful, and I respect you a lot and your work.
What's your question?
I was contacted several years ago. I'm an MK Ultra, in a lot of MK Ultra programs, electronic harassment. I hear voices continually, control entities, that sort of thing. I'm well versed. My psychic abilities are very heightened. This has been my life for, say, going on almost the last 10 years. I feel like I've been, I'm getting prepped for something, of course. So a lot of us think that, that have been in these heavy mind control programs feel like we're being prepped. I was contacted by this. When I say contacted, I mean talking telepathically, whether it's a machine that I'm hooked up to, or a person, or an alien, or all of it combined, by a voice, of course, that's at Anu and the Marduk program. So just a lot has happened to me. I don't want to go on and on and on, because I know your time is valuable and the group's time is valuable. But just on a brief question, I know we're all on, I see this timeline like as far as North Carolina is being wiped out. And for me, I would be glad if it was wiped out. I think very few people are honest and willing to sacrifice, and I think that's why you would say you have so many lone wolves, people willing to take others' lives and just that type of thing. But I see this whole timeline being wiped out, and I see it being wiped out as a good thing for me, because the cars, the interstate, like you said, the pollution, we're just headed for a downfall. And there's no good, if there's no good outcome in the near future. Maybe in the far, far future where we're all from, and basically we all have time traveled back here where I feel like I have, and I've been through hell. My life is, and I know others that have been through a lot worse with the mind control program.
If you have been in MK Ultra, we would agree.
Like I say, I'm really actually one of the lucky ones.
You would have to have had a very difficult life. And then the question would be, as we have spoken with others from this situation, as each of you have to ask yourself, why did I incarnate into this particular situation, and what is it that my soul can gain from this? This is always the question that each person must ask. But what specifically is your question?
I guess I feel like I have all the answers internally. My ego is like overinflated, which is probably not the best thing right now, and I'm sure that's just a defense mechanism.
So you don't really have a question. You're just making statements.
Let's say, can you tell any connection, I guess, to Anu and Marduk? What would be, do you pick up any connection? I know everyone has a connection, but I guess that's where if I had to ask one simple question like, what's your favorite color? I mean, because there's so many
you're coming across
conversations I would like to have with you, and not just one single question.
Well, let's just say you're throwing a lot of baseballs at us, and they're not hurting us, but you're not making...
I feel like I try to telepathically communicate with you, or whoever you're working with, the group. I mean, I feel like maybe that's my own delusion.
All right, let's answer your...
With others,
Ma'am, could you please allow us to speak?
Yes. Well, I have to say something out because I'll never see you again.
That's all right. Many of these other people will never see us again either. Who did you come here to listen to, we or you?
Well, I think just the whole collection.
All right, so let us answer the question and we will move on. Anu, out of the Anunnaki, Anu is considered to be the chief god, the God in heaven, the one God. That is Anu. He is synonymous with heaven. So that when religions teach people when you die you go to heaven, that is sort of the promise. You go to Anu. Marduk was born on Nibiru. He is the firstborn and eldest son of Anu's son, Enki. Enki is the eldest son of Anu. He was born to Anu's consort, not his half-sister wife, and it was Enki, the genius. He is also known as Ea, and that translates to he who lives of water. Enki was sent here 445,000 years ago to find out about the gold and set up the mining expedition. And then eventually his son, that was born on Nibiru, Marduk, came to Earth as part of the Anunnaki pantheon. Marduk is not considered to be such a good guy in certain terms. There's many books and translations about this, and for any of you interested in this subject, it would be to your benefit to educate yourself. Many people have speculated that Marduk plays many roles, as these gods do. They play savior, and then they can play the dark side as well. We take no favorites. We simply look to see the players and who they are. And there are members of the Anunnaki who care about the humankind. We would say the one who cares the most is Ninti. She later became Nin Hersog. She was, again, a child of Anu and sister to Enlil and Enki. Important to know about the Anunnaki, they are incestuous. And they mate with each other, and they create these mating programs and breeding programs amongst themselves. This is how the royalty is traced down through time, just as the pharaonic lines were in Egypt. It's just that in Egypt 5,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, the dynasties were mimicking the pre-dynastic era, which would have been run by the Anunnaki. Anunnaki set up the civilizations in South America, in the Middle East, in Africa. You are a colony of the Anunnaki. And the unfortunate aspect of the Anunnaki is they have not been honest with you. And that, if you don't mind that people lie, then that's all right. Then you may like them. But the one who really cares about humankind would be Nin Hersag. She is also known as Mami, and she, along with her nephew, Nin Gishzida, and her half-brother Enki, they three would be considered to be the laboratory engineers who designed the first prototypes of humankind. Who has a question, please?
This is Rich.
Rich, welcome.
We've been talking a lot about manipulation and mind control and even possession. And my question is, are we humans in any way protected when we go into the dream states? Or do we have to be on guard for deception even within our dreams?
Rich, it's a very good question. And again, what it comes back to is the strength and the quality of the individual. Do you own your mind? Is your mind integrated? Do you have clear cognitive behavior? What is your intention? All of these things, the way you use your mind is going to protect you. Now, every once in a while, people have weirdness happen in the dreams. And they can feel as if they're being attacked. People have had sexual things happen in their bedroom. Many people have had abductions. They've seen balls of light. They feel catatonic, frozen. Visitations do occur, even to the best intended people. And why would that be? Well, first of all, there's a lot of coming and going between the human gene pool and visiting extraterrestrials. But more than that, when you have such an encounter, it really wakes you up and shakes your world, so that you can't live in the love and light bubble any longer. Not that there's anything wrong with love nor light, but many people think this is some kind of refuge and there's nothing else that exists. And these forces are there so that you recognize that you cohabitate with other beings. The thing you have the most control over always is your breath. And if you are ever in a situation where you feel discombobulated, beings coming through the dimensions, declare your protection, ground yourself, and breathe. And it would be a good idea, Rich, to, do you remember when you were little, perhaps your parents did this for some of you? You said your prayers if you were of that type of situation, and then you got tucked in and sleep tight, this kind of thing. There's certain amount of conditioning that goes into the rest that occurs in the dream state. That when you are dreaming, you are working out the probable realities that you will be facing in the waking world. This is why the dream state is so important. It is so fluid. And it's again to make an intention before you fall to sleep, especially if you are facing a difficult situation. I intend to work out the situation in the dream state, and that I will awake with clarity of mind to know what to do. Do you follow that?
Yes.
Anything else, Rich?
No, thank you very much.
Who else has a question?
This is Virgil.
Virgil, welcome. Loud and clear.
I've been reading what Transcendental Meditation. Is that beneficial?
It's been around a long time. The Maharishi, basically transcendental meditation or any meditation, helps you train the mind so that your mind is not like 20 ping pong balls going here, there, and everywhere. The breath helps you center. You breathe to the bottom of the lungs. And meditation basically brings the mind into focus. Most people have no focus, especially if they are TV watchers, device users, all over the place. They can't focus. They can't get a cognitive thought out. So it won't do you any harm, but certainly know why you are doing it. It is so that you can calm the brain and have more relaxation in the body, so that if and when a stressful situation comes up, you'll know how to think your way through it. Just as good as meditation in terms of, thank you there, Dorsey. Just as good as meditation in transcendental meditation, where you are giving a word basically to meditate on, we really value being in nature. In nature, without electronic devices, of course. You have to use your eyes, walk around, pay attention, see this, see that. Nature knows who you are. When you go out in nature, nature says, Virgil's here. And the creatures will respond to you. And they will move and make sounds and do things to balance your energy field. And it is interesting, you have this huge program out there now to make everyone afraid of nature. The mosquitoes, the ticks, the sun. Pretty soon it's going to be the robins and the blue jays. They're going to come up with some bad thing that these creatures are doing. It's just remember, if it looks like fear, if it smells like fear, if it's being shoved at you for fear, ask yourself, do I need to buy this? Am I okay in the moment? So these are important things. Who else has a question?
This is Joy.
Joyce, welcome.
Welcome. And I have a question about just advice you could give on going through family genetic clearing and Kundalini awakening.
Joyce, there's a good book. Our vehicle's got the P Times here. It's in there. It's called Biogenealogy, Healing Trauma from the Past. You will like it. You can get it, if they don't order it for you here, you could probably get it online and get a used copy or something. Big healing is going on right now. Very, very big. For those of you who are very aware. Big, big healing. And it involves going into the pain of the family and the family poor choices and finding the purpose of your own pain and someone else's pain, and healing it by finding the positive purpose. And this is once you become aware of many things, it's a stage that some people start to move into. We would highly recommend, Joyce, for you, that you do some regression work. Do you know what this is?
Yes, I know hypnotic.
In other words, the hypnotic process of going into other lifetimes, and with a good therapist who's totally trained in this, and investing in it and doing a dozen of these over a year or over 6 months or something. And you lie on the bed or whatever, all comfy, and they take you in and they relax you, and then they say, all right, look at your feet, what do your feet look like? And you walk the timelines and you move along the timelines, and before you do this you say, I want to find the place is in my family timeline, in my timeline, that will help me clear and go to a higher level with this family healing. It's very painful to realize the pain of poor choices, especially sexually, things of this nature. But bottom line is it can be cleared. There's some crying that has to be done. There's some real empathy. Of course, as you well know, empathy is a difficult state to be in, because you can take on too much from other people. Yet you must be able to empathize with someone else's situation in order to find the purpose of it. And everything has a purpose. Nothing is done by accident or randomness. And if you don't like what you are encountering, then you must ask for, what is this all about? What gift am I being given to learn my way through this? One more question. Dorsey, do you want it to be you?
Well, yeah, I had one question.
All right.
I heard about the Florida shooting. When I heard that before, Trump was supposed to make an announcement about Hillary.
Now, oh yes, the Florida...
Yeah, Trump was going to make a big announcement about Hillary.
Just before
then, they had the shooting in Orlando.
That was the nightclub shooting,
right.
so to speak, as it was said, yes.
Yes, and I just know you can just elaborate on that, anything behind the scenes that you may know.
Right now, everyone feels as if behind the scenes they have a big corset on. And no one wants to let the cat out of the bag. Everyone's afraid, including Trump. He's backed way off. Have you noticed?
Yes.
And right now he's been having meetings, and it's not just about people anymore. It's about who has different military backing of super beings. It's very, very dark behind the scenes. And we can say the trumpet has gotten in over further than he ever anticipated. He thought he knew what was going on. And he does have military backing and agency backing, but he's not going to solve any problems. Just say his astrology is such that he was born at a full moon. He is a Gemini, so he's a switcher. Gemini has two personalities. Sometimes it's a lively personality and then a quiet personality. Sometimes it's two-faced. He also has Uranus conjunct his sun, so there's no controlling him. He has Mars in Leo, so he has a huge ego, which is Mercury, is real close to the USA sun, and he has a real caring for this country. He is completely unprepared for the behind-the-scenes nastiness and intrigue and the complexities of the UFO issue and everything else and the New World Order that's going on. People are going to do everything in their power to keep him out. Why? Not because he's the trumpet, because he's ill-prepared for how massive the problems are. Do you understand? Why does Hillary want it?
Well, she's in the know. She's part of the New World Order system, I guess.
Yes, and it looks like she has a 12th house sun. Her astrology it's all the past coming back once again. She's been a powerful person in the past. No one knows who's running who. Do you understand? That's the problem. And all these people that are attempting to sing Kumbaya so that they can take over the world, they're frightened. And they don't know who to trust among their colleagues, and there's no honor among these thieves.
Yes.
Now, in summation, use your mind. Awareness is not easy, but there's nothing more worthwhile than the path of awareness. That said, we bid you best creations and pleasant journeys. Good evening.
Good evening.